kick it off to Kenny Britt. So we will see Chris Johnson right out of the gate. Seahawks disappointing 5-10. The Titans 7-8. And we know the game plan today, Rich, is a whole lot of Chris Johnson to see if they can get him to 2,000 and maybe even the record held by Eric Dickerson. Britt out across the 15 and hammered. Roy Lewis on special teams with the hit, along with Nick Reed. Fake the handoff and a bootleg. Young throwing on first down, and it's caught along the sideline by Nate Washington. So check out Tennessee not running it on the first play from scrimmage. On a 1st and 10 out across the 30, handoff to Johnson. He's got a hole. Chris Johnson darts through it, and Johnson out across the 40-yard line. There's the block from Hall, the fullback, to help spring Johnson loose for 9 yards. The irony is that teams have had actually more success throwing on this Seattle defense, but that's not the game plan here today for Tennessee. Option, Young on a pitch, and he's got Johnson for a first down. Spin move out across the 50-yard line, hit by Deion Grant.
Well, Seattle actually had to spend an entire practice part for working on the option, defending the option, because Vince Young and Chris Johnson do such a great job of it. It's amazing they dedicated an entire period. They had Seneca Wallace try and duplicate Vince Young. So extra work for Seattle trying to stop that particular segment of attack by the Titans.
And with that carry, Rich, Chris Johnson has just moved to 7th on the all-time list for single-season rushing, passing the likes of Sean Alexander, Barry Sanders, and Amon Green. Fake the handoff, Young to throw it. Young slings over the middle, and it's complete to Kenny Britt. Catch is made in Seattle territory at the 36-yard line. So a new set of downs for Tennessee to work with. Algie Crumpler is in on a 1st and 10 from the 36 of Seattle. Just underway, the Titans and the Seahawks to wrap up the 2009 regular season. On a pitch for Johnson, he's got an angle, and Johnson able to turn it upfield. Hit by Darrell, tapped down low. Johnson shredding this Seattle defense for 9.5, depending on the spot.
You know, it's amazing. You watch as much film as you want, but until you see it in real life, you don't appreciate his speed and quickness right there on the edge. I mean, that's amazing. You got leverage on him. You see tap right there, and again, he can't make the play until Chris Johnson is 9 yards down the field.
Double tight end set. Give it to Johnson again, and Johnson hit hard by Deion Grant. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play. He had enough for the first down on the previous run, so this will be a 2nd and long now for Tennessee. Opening drive of the afternoon for the Titans. Titans trying to make NFL history as a team. They open the season 0-6. A victory here, they would be the first club ever to start 0-6, Jeff Fisher and company, and finish the year 500, 8-8. What a run to even play meaningful football games in the month of December. Fake the handoff, Young on the toss for Johnson. And Johnson zigzags his way out across the 20-yard line. Hawthorne and Babineau over there defensively. That's a 10-yard pickup.
Well, we think about Chris Johnson, the runner. He's also their leading receiver with 47 receptions, and a lot of them are screens right here. They have a very good offensive line. You see Kevin Mawai out there that can get out in front, and he is a very patient runner in the open field.
8th play of the drive. Johnson with his first catch. It covers 10 yards. Trying to become the first man for accomplishing 2,000 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving in the same season. Handoff, Johnson. Little hop step, and Johnson for no gain. Leroy Hill there defensively. And this is where the circumstances come into play, Rich. Normally you'd say, all right, send out the field goal unit. But I'm not sure that's going to be the case here with Jeff Fisher here in the final week of the regular season.
Well, when you and I visited with him last night, remember what he told us? He said, we're going to be more aggressive with our decisions on 4th down. We want as many possessions as we can get. It's really important to Jeff Fisher, this entire organization, that Chris Johnson gets that rushing mark.
It'll be a 4th and 1 from the 17-yard line. 2 tight ends in this formation, Scaife and Crumpler.
Well, they love the option in this situation.
Handoff, Johnson slicing through for a first down. He picks up 2. Colin Cole, the former Green Bay Packer, making the stop down low. So this drive continues, and that means more opportunities for Chris Johnson.
Yeah, and this offensive line has done a great job. You see Michael Ruse right there getting some push, and he just does a nice job falling forward. But there's more runs in the pass plan this week than any other time during the regular season. We talked with offensive coordinator Mike Heimerdinger. He said, this is really a defense that's set up to throw against. I mean, the 30th versus the pass, so we have our work cut out for us trying to run the ball.
Johnson is now 100 yards away from 2,000 on the season. The pitch. Johnson takes a hit as he crossed the 15. David Hawthorne, who has really been a nice surprise for this defense, replacing the injured Lofa Tatupu, and it's only a gain of 1 on the play. Hawthorne leading the Seattle Seahawks in tackles this season, out near 110 on the year. We talked to him about having to play against Johnson, and all of the Seattle defensive players and coaches that we talked to praise Johnson for his patience, and right now he's going to have to be very patient because he's on the sideline getting a breather. Lendale White checks in. 2nd and 9, opening drive. Bootleg, it's Young looking to throw. And Young will toss it away. The maturation of Vince Young. Obviously, Johnson is the lead story here. We understand why, but it's also a chance for you to kind of look back and tell us what kind of year Vince Young has had in terms of his development.
I think he's done a much better job cutting down on the negative plays and the poor decisions this season. You see right here, it's not open in the red zone, early down, throw the ball away. That's where he's made his biggest improvement. I think his preparation has gotten better, and also during the week. He's studying more. He's coming in on his days off. He's watching film. He's done a wonderful job preparing each week.
Johnson back on the field. He is 99 yards shy of 2,000. 4 receivers set. Young from the gun. Throws on a sideline route. It's complete to Justin Gage, and he's got what should be a first down. Let's see where they spot the football. He did not get it. It was short along that boundary. Ken Lucas over there defensively.
Well, another 4th down situation. They'll probably go for it. They do a good job working the boundary. A lot of Vince Young's throws are out-breaking routes on the boundary.
Stepped out of bounds with that left foot. So it sets up a 4th and 2 now for Tennessee. They are inside the 10. We come up on 8 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Boy, keep an eye on the option here. They like to run the option in this situation.
Handoff to Johnson. And Johnson finds a hole. Diving. He's got it. Touchdown, Johnson. Chris Johnson, in his bid for history, puts the Tennessee Titans on the board first.
You're going to see a little misdirection here. You see the offside guard, Jake Scott. He gets out in front. Chris Johnson just follows him around. You see a good block there by Bo Scaife. This is a team that has taken ownership and trying to help that man right there get the rushing title. Even the defensive players, they're going to try and do everything they can to get off the field to give him more opportunities today.
That's what Jeff Fisher told us. Everybody is on board. The extra point from Rob Baronis. Touchdown for Johnson to start things off. 6-yard run, 35 yards rushing for Johnson on that opening drive, and 10 yards through the air. So a combined 45 yards as he inches closer to Marshall Faulk's all-time record. And Rankin finds an opening out across the 30-yard line. Bobbled by Hushmanzada and incomplete. Cortland Finnegan over there defensively. 2nd and 10. Hasselbeck on a quick out route, not much there for Deion Branch, a modest gain of 6 yards. Now they crowd the line. 3rd and a long 4. Here they come, and Hasselbeck goes down on a safety blitz from Michael Griffin, and Hasselbeck a little bit slow to get up.
Well, what was the mindset when we talked with defensive coordinator Chuck Cecil last night? He said, we have a veteran quarterback that's been a little bit jumpy the last couple of weeks. We want to challenge him early. We want to bring some pressures. We don't want him to get comfortable. You see Griffin coming right up the middle there, right into the A gap. They don't even account for him.
Alvin Pierman is the deep man waiting for John Ryan. Chuck Cecil also mentioned, hey, we got to get off the field, especially today. Johnson can't get yards if he's on the sidelines. On a bounce for Pierman. And Pierman able to accelerate out across the 40-yard line. Chris Johnson getting ready for his second series, a penalty marker on the play. 43-yard punt, a 13-yard return. We'll hear from the veteran referee, Ed Hockley, for the first time this afternoon. 6:41 remaining in the first.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Seattle, number 99, 15-yard penalty. Tennessee keeps the ball, first down.
Seven 0 Tennessee. Ed Hockley had pointed in the wrong direction. The penalty was against Tennessee, number 99, Eric Bakhtiari. First-year defensive end out of San Diego. Penalty on special teams. So back it up for the Titans. They take over with a 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line.
They like to throw at the start of the series on first down. They like to throw the football. Of course, they run it.
And it's Johnson. Tripped up. Could have turned into a much bigger gain. Darrell Tapp from behind, limiting Johnson to a 3-yard gain. We do know that a lot on the line for both of those teams to win the division. For Philadelphia, chance to move up even higher among the seeds. Young, play fake, deep ball, Vince Young, intercepted. It's picked off by the veteran Deion Grant. Justin Gage was the intended receiver. Back in the Pacific Northwest, Vince Young had his issues last week against the San Diego Chargers. This time getting picked off by Deion Grant, one of the leaders of this Seattle defense, with his 3rd interception of the season. And the Seahawks take over a 1st and 10 just short of the 30-yard line. Justin Forsett is the single setback. Forsett gets the carry. Little juke move to the outside. Forsett for 3 yards, hit by Rod Hood.
Well, what they want to do is they're looking for Justin Gage up here at the top of your screen. He's going to run a double move on Marcus Trufant, but what Vince Young doesn't see or feel is the safety over the top. You have to do a better job holding that free safety. You see he drifts to his right. He brings Deion Grant right there, and you got to see out in front of throws. That's something that's hurt Vince Young a number of times this season.
On the 2nd and 7, Hasselbeck loses the football. It bounced around like a pinball and looked like it was recovered by Seattle. Chris Hope knocking it free. Titans had a golden opportunity to come up with a loose ball, but could not. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Seahawks.
Believe me, people are paying attention, notably Chuck Cecil, defensive coordinator on the sidelines. This is not good to see. This ball just slips out of Matt Hasselbeck's hands. He doesn't look comfortable, and he's gotten off the rough start. This is an offense that has not started well here in the first quarter. They've scored 10 points on their opening drives this year. They don't get off to good starts.
On a 3-receiver set now for Seattle on a 3rd and 13. Hasselbeck set up the screen. Forsett has some room. Forsett brought down shy of a 1st down at the 35-yard line. And when we chatted with Chuck Cecil, he said, I had to put some tape on from early in the season to remind myself of what Matt Hasselbeck is capable of, because he just didn't believe the last 3 weeks was a clear indication of who Hasselbeck is. He saw the old Matt Hasselbeck earlier in the season, but boy, it's been rough going for the veteran.
You're talking about a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's not playing like it right now. Do you realize almost 40% of Seattle's offensive drives this year have ended in 3 and outs? It's demoralizing to a team, and right now they have to get it figured out.
John Ryan punting to Alvin Pierman. 2 3 and outs for Seattle so far today. And Pierman up the field out across the 20-yard line. So that was a short possession. 1st and 10 for the Tennessee Titans from the 22-yard line. 3:43 to go in this first quarter. Young on the delay, handoff to Johnson. Johnson came in 128 yards away from 2,000. He has 40 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown right now. Second and 8 for Tennessee. Johnson could not get the angle to the perimeter. Darrell Tapp helped make sure of it. Yeah, JB, it's really been an interesting year for the Baltimore Ravens. Came out, everybody thought they were one of the most balanced teams in the NFL, and up and down, and here they are. They've got destiny in their own hands. Fake the handoff. Young looking to set up the screen. Johnson drops the football and got hit on the play by Jordan Babineau. Hit down low. And that play just never developed. The Titans are forced to punt.
Well, you see they're trying to get the screen here. Chris Johnson just can't get around. You see Babineau right there. He comes in and lays out Chris Johnson. He's not even anticipating it, but this Seattle defense, they know what's at stake. We talked to Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator. He said, look, I don't need to put a lot of film on and show them what this guy's capable of. They're fully aware of the challenge trying to stop Chris Johnson here today.
And that is the other part of the equation. Obviously, everybody's focused in on Johnson. The Seahawks want no part of this record. Justin Forsett waiting for the punt from Brett Kern. A fair catch called for at the 25. And that's where the Seahawks will have it. They're still looking for their first down of the afternoon after the 50-yard punt. So Johnson, 3 possessions for Tennessee. He's got 40 yards on the ground and 10 yards through the air. And off for Julius Jones. And Jones snakes his way out across the 30-yard line. 5.5-yard gain. Stephen Tulloch there defensively to make the play for Tennessee.
You know, it was interesting. I got a chance to sit down with Greg Knapp, the Seattle offensive coordinator, and I asked him about how do you help Matt Hasselbeck out. He went back to the Detroit game in Week 10 where he had a season record 39 completions.
Keep it on the ground, and another carry for Julius Jones. Gain of a yard there.
So he had 39 completions in the game against Detroit. He said, you know, he played real well in that game. So we went back and we started looking at the concepts that he was comfortable with, and that's really what's driven the pass game this week. A lot of those concepts that he had and he was very familiar with and played well in that Detroit game. They got to get this guy going. He's not played well here the last month.
And a 3rd and 4 now. He's trying to move the chains at this point for Seattle. Pump fake, Hasselbeck, timing pattern, and a penalty. A hold on Finnegan, matched up with T.J. Hushmanzada. That was part of the plan here defensively for Cortland Finnegan, not necessarily to play one side, but to match up against Seattle's best wide receiver, and he just lost that battle.
Pass interference, defense, number 31. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, he's going to be matched up, as you mentioned, Ian, with T.J. Hushmanzada all day. It's the first time that they've actually locked him in to the receiver, and clearly they run a double move right there, and T.J. was going to go right by him. Cortland Finnegan did the right thing in that situation, not giving up the big play, grabbing him.
And timeout called, defensive timeout from Tennessee with 1:10 to play in this first quarter. Chuck Cecil fined $20,000 for verbally abusing officials last week in that loss to San Diego. They will appeal that fine, but the interesting part of the story, the defense has stepped forward. Defensive players have said, hey, we're going to pay the fine. We're going to take a collection because our guy, Chuck Cecil, doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, they feel strongly about him. You and I had a little fun with them last night. We said our CBS crew, we piled together a few dollars. We're going to try and chip in as well. Hey, Chuck Cecil is a great defensive coordinator. I don't know how you verbally abuse an official. I just don't know how you do it. I watch these games every week, and I see coaches on the sideline yelling at officials all the time. I don't know how you do that. How do you verbally abuse an official?
Well, what I do know is that CBS came up with $1.98 for Chuck, and I gave the buck. On a handoff across midfield, Julius Jones gets the call for 3 yards, hit by William Hayes.
I thought that was part of their job description as an NFL official. You're going to get abused. That's that's a tough business. It's not for everybody. Well, this guy is a great competitor. I really like Chuck Cecil, and the thing I do know about him and his head coach, they think alike when it comes to the treatment of opposing quarterbacks. They don't ever want them to get comfortable. The hits, the hurries, and sacks are an effective deterrent.
On a 2nd and 7, little bootleg. Hasselbeck finds the open man, T.J. Hushmanzada. And he is tackled by Rod Hood. A penalty marker on the play. 5-yard gain for Seattle.
Offside, defense, lined up in the neutral zone, number 51. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And that's Gerald McRath called on the penalty. Rookie out of Southern Miss. Speedy linebacker, 4th round pick.
Yeah, you see them lined up right here on the end man on the line of scrimmage. The other thing is you study this Tennessee defense, they're very aggressive. And I think that the hard count can really help Matt Hasselbeck to slow down this rush. Tennessee's good for 3 or 4 penalties a game. If he doesn't use that hard count, he's not helping that group up front.
Tennessee already has 3 penalties costing him 36 yards. On a running play, Julius Jones taking it to the outside. Cortland Finnegan among those there defensively. It's a gain of 1. Dave Ball also in on the act for the Titans. That'll be the final play of this first quarter. Chase for 2,000 yards for Chris Johnson. Has 1,912, now 88 yards away. 3rd and 1 though for Seattle to keep this drive going. Julius Jones, second effort, he didn't get there. Jones gets buried at the 44-yard line. Kevin Vickerson was like a brick wall. It's a loss of 1 on the play, and the Seattle punting unit will come on.
Wow, I can't imagine this. Just look at the push up front. Nice job there. You see the nose tackle getting some push to Derek Marks. Vickerson up in there. And what did Chuck Cecil tell us last night? It's always important to get off the field, but it's especially important this week. We're all well aware of what's at stake. We have to get this offense back on the field so Chris Johnson can have more opportunities.
John Ryan punting. Alvin Pierman is deep, standing at the 15. Fakes on a fair catch. It takes a roll for Tennessee, but still down inside the 10. So the Titans will be pinned deep in their own territory. Early stages of this second quarter. It's a 34-yard punt. Well done by John Ryan, and a penalty marker thrown at the 11.
Well, there's some talk this week in Seattle about going out and signing Usain Bolt, the Olympic world record holder. He said, we're trying to find someone who would assimilate Chris Johnson for us in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to find somebody that can run their scout team and has that same burst and speed.
Well, even the fact that this week and every week teams have to prepare for the option because of what Tennessee can give you in different looks. Patrick Kearney telling us, I haven't prepared for the option since Joe Hamilton and Georgia Tech back in my Virginia days.
They give you a lot of different looks offensively.
There were 2 fouls on the play by the receiving number 35. There was a personal foul blocking after giving a signal. That penalty is declined. It was also an invalid fair catch signal. That penalty will be enforced half the distance from the 10-yard line. Tennessee keeps the ball, first down.
So it's all on Alvin Pierman.
A lot of infractions there, weren't there?
Well, there are a lot of yards available right now for Chris Johnson and this Tennessee offense because they have been placed at their own 5-yard line with a 7-0 lead over Seattle. We're just underway in the second quarter.
Plenty of room for Chris Johnson. I really got a kick out of talking to Kevin Mawai, the center last night of the Titans. He said they're very aware. I mean, it was amazing. He started rattling off all the numbers.
All of them.
This is a group that has taken ownership in this. They really want to accomplish this here today.
On first down from the 5. Handoff for Johnson. He's got a hole. And Johnson busting through it. Out across the 15-yard line. It's an 11-yard gain for Johnson as he inches closer. All right, JB. Give is to Johnson. And Johnson turning the corner and spilled out along the sideline by Jordan Babineau. It's a 6-yard gain for Johnson. He is now 6 yards away from the franchise record held by Earl Campbell.
Well, it's so important when you're playing against a player like Chris Johnson to set the edge. You can't allow him to bounce runs to the outside, and you need to get a number of hats to the ball because the first defender usually misses. The big thing, though, is you just can't give up the long runs. I mean, he leads the NFL with 22 rushes of 20 yards or more, including runs of 91, 89, and 85.
On a 2nd and 4 now for Tennessee. Handoff, Johnson, and he's buried. Leroy Hill leading that charge for the Seattle Seahawks. It'll set up 3rd down for the Titans.
Well, that's the key. Look, you see the safety coming down. A number of players, 8-man box. You see the corner involved. That's how you have to do it. You have to make them run east and west. You can't give vertical seams in that defense. Good crowd on hand here at Quest Stadium.
or Quest Field as it's called. 67,000 is a sellout. And off to Chris Johnson. And Johnson unable to get across that 25. Needed a full 4 yards, and we'll see where they spot the football.
He's going to be short.
Well, they gave him a pretty good spot, though, out near the 26.
See, trying to get off blocks. Boy, he's a slippery back. He's not very big, but he doesn't take a lot of hits. He always seems to be falling forward at the end of runs.
Well, they're going to measure it. And just from the naked eye, it looks short. And it is. Brett Kern is on the field, the punter. So they started at the 5-yard line. It was all Johnson and able to take it to the 26, and that's where this drive ends. So Johnson now 60 yards rushing.
Well, there's plenty of motivation for the Seattle defense, and we talked with Gus Bradley and Jim Moore on Friday. Said we don't want to be on anyone's highlight reel for the rest of eternity.
Kern on to punt it. Justin Forsett standing at his own 29-yard line for Seattle. Low snap handled by Kern. Sailing kick, and it sends Forsett back to the 20. And Forsett caught from behind as he crossed the 25-yard line by Hawkins. Seahawks, a 5-10 season. Average time of possession, lowest in the NFC. Second lowest in the NFL, behind just Buffalo. They do have 5 straight wins over the Titans in the series, though. 14th all-time meeting between these two franchises. On a swing pass, Houshmandzadeh turning the corner. And down the sideline, T.J. Houshmandzadeh got a block from Owen Schmidt. Michael Griffin chasing him down. It's a 24-yard catch and run.
Well, we saw this in practice on Friday. Just going to kick it out to TJ. Look at the blocks, though. He gets a good block by Carlson out there in front and in the fullback, and then he just kicks it into drive there on the sidelines. A simple little swing route on the line of scrimmage, and TJ is able to turn it into a big play.
Seneca Wallace has checked in, the backup quarterback who can also line up as a receiver, and that's exactly where he'll be. Down to the bottom of your screen, empty backfield, shotgun formation. And the Seahawks in Tennessee territory.
Double pass.
And it's Wallace looking to throw. Wallace fires, complete. Some creativity. T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Well, the one thing Seattle does, they give you a lot of different looks. They use a lot of different personnel groupings, a lot of motions and shifts before the snap, and they bring in, as we mentioned, Seneca Wallace, a guy that can throw the ball. Obviously, their backup quarterback. He does a nice job, very patient, waiting for T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Yeah, right now it's the training staff out to look at T.J. along the sideline. They took a shot after catching the football. It'll be a first down for Seattle as they're moving the ball in the second. Well, Houshmandzadeh, he took a shot after catching the football off the pass from Wallace.
Yeah, Matt Hasselbeck, he has to throw this backwards. He does a nice job. Seneca Wallace coming back off the line of scrimmage. You see him moving around there, avoiding the rush. But right here, boy, TJ takes a big lick from Rod Hood.
So it was Hood initially, Javon Hay with the second smack on Houshmandzadeh. He's now on the Seattle sideline. And the Seahawks were the 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Their only first down prior to this drive had come on a penalty. Handoff, Forsett. And Forsett breaking away. Ridden down by Griffin. Justin Forsett, the second-year running back out of California, undersized, but when he has been given an opportunity, he's taken advantage. That's a 24-yard rip.
He really has. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. See a missed tackle right there by Rod Hood. Does a nice job winding it back and then protecting the football at the end. But this guy's got some speed as well. Not a very big back, but boy, when he gets on the second level, he can really hurt you.
First and goal inside the 10 for Seattle. Seahawks looking for the equalizer. And Hasselbeck checking off.
Yeah, he sees all these defenders up here at the line of scrimmage. Now we can see the safety bail now.
Handoff for Set trying to squeeze through a hole, and not much there. Little spin move, gets to the 6 and picks up 2. Colin Allred among those there for Tennessee.
You know, the second quarter has been a problem quarter for the Tennessee Titans defensively. More than 40% of the points scored against Tennessee have come in the second quarter. They've given up 162 points. They start out well, but boy, the second quarter really is a problem.
That's the most points allowed in the second quarter in the NFL this season. Second and goal. Hasselbeck to throw. Fires. Touchdown. John Carlson. And the Seahawks an extra point away from tying this one up.
Well, John Carlson has been the one bright spot for the Seattle offense all season. He has been the most consistent performer. They're trying to get him the ball more. And they're just going to run a little crossing route. Good job by Matt Hasselbeck looking out in front of it. But John Carlson is a mismatch right now for a lot of these linebackers.
Veteran Olindo Mare with the point after a 5-play, 73-yard drive. Back here in Seattle, where the Seahawks and Titans are tied at 7-7, a 5-play, 73-yard drive resulting in a John Carlson touchdown. That is number 7 for him on the season. Second-round pick out of Notre Dame. Hushmanzada had a big play off the double pass. And Olindo Mare will kick it off with 9:41 to play in this first half. Kenny Britt needs some blockers, and he's brought down at the 25 after the 8-yard gain. Owen Schmidt making the play on special teams. Chris Johnson. First and 10 for Tennessee. Fake the handoff. Young looking to throw. Outside, it's caught by Johnson. And Chris Johnson brought down after the gain of 9. It's a new NFL record for yards from scrimmage for Chris Johnson, topping Marshall Faulk's previous mark. Johnson has gotten his name into the record books here today.
You know, it's amazing. We think about Chris Johnson. I mean, we tend to forget he's only in his second season. He's going to get better. I think particularly as you talk about the passing game and understanding the protections more and what he can do out on the edge. But boy, he is becoming a complete player in just his second season.
2nd and 1 for the Titans. Handoff, Johnson, spin move, nothing there. Will Herring helped make sure of it for Seattle. All he needed was a yard for the first down. It's a loss of 2. So Chris Johnson, 10 years ago, Marshall Faulk set that mark. Tiki Barber had a tremendous season in 2005. We know about LaDainian Tomlinson. But Faulk's record goes down today here in the Pacific Northwest.
It's a lot of wear and tear on the body in the 16-game season.
Shotgun. Swing it out. At too low for Johnson. Meanwhile, the Titans unable to keep this drive alive. And Tennessee is forced to punt it.
And that's a throw, if you're Vince Young, that you have to make. The easy throws, you can't throw it down by his knees. You're going to see Vince Young a little late with his eyes, but look where this hits Chris Johnson, down by his knees, and you got to be accurate when you throw to backs. You got to get it out in front of them so they can get into the transition of the run.
So Johnson at 59 yards rushing. 4th down, Brett Kern punting to Justin Forsett, standing at the 24. Kern, he likes this Pacific Northwest air. A boomer. But it trickles into the end zone for a touchback. 67-yard punt for Kern. And that is a new career long for him.
Can't miss throws like that.
The interception earlier from Young in the first quarter. He missed a couple of throws as well as Julius Jones is devoured. Behind the line of scrimmage, he's brought down to the 19. It's a loss of 1 on the play for Seattle. We're down to 7:44 and counting left in this first half.
Boy, Stephen Tolick has done a nice job in the middle. You know, they've been beat up at the linebacker position. A lot of injuries, as we talked about with Bullock and Thornton. But that guy in the middle, Stephen Tolick, leads them with 122 tackles. He's been all over the field this year for the Titans.
Bullock, a torn ACL, left knee, first major injury of his life. High school, college, the pros, he had made 127 consecutive starts. Thornton out for the year with a shoulder pectoral injury. Give is to Jones. And with a head of steam, Julius Jones has a first down. 17-yard gain for Jones. How about this late season statement from the Dallas Cowboys? Julius Jones slithering his way out near the 45-yard line for an 8-yard gain.
How about this late season statement by the Seattle offensive line? They're getting some movement up front. We're getting to see the different backs. Now it's Julius Jones. Nice job cutting. There again, Rod Hood having a tough time bringing down these backs. This is an offensive line that's had 5 different line combinations through the first 8 games. And then, of course, the switch at center, which you mentioned, Ian.
2nd and 2, Hasselbeck. Deep ball, sideline. Incomplete. Deion Branch, the intended receiver, the 2-time Super Bowl champion. Cortland Finnegan over there defensively for Tennessee.
A pretty good throw, but you got to keep him on the field of play. There's not a lot of room there on the boundary, and the receiver can help that by giving him some space, but clearly Matt Hasselbeck's got to do a better job giving these receivers a chance to make a play on the ball down the field.
Hasselbeck now 4 of 6 for 46 yards and a touchdown. On the strike to John Carlson. 3rd and 2 now for the Seahawks. Hasselbeck, and he throws for the first down. Curl by Branch. Big gainer for Branch as he angles himself out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's a 21-yard catch and run for Deion Branch.
Well, remember now, they're going after Rod Hood. Nick Harper's not playing. He's out with an injury. They're going after Rod Hood, and he's struggling right now, making some tackles in the open field.
So Rod Hood inactive for 6 consecutive weeks. Once Harper came back healthy, Hood's role was diminished to being a practice player during the week, and a flag down.
All start offense number 89. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And it's Carlson picking it up. First penalty of the day on the Seattle Seahawks. Their head coach Jim Mora. We asked him about this season. Had a lot of success in Atlanta. He said, we just weren't able to get any momentum going. Inconsistent from a personnel standpoint and even from a personality standpoint, trying to figure out exactly what their identity was. Lewis Rankin in the game. Swing it out for Rankin, the former Oakland Raider. And spins his way inside the 40-yard line. Gerald McGrath will be given credit for the stop.
You know, Ryan, you mentioned identity. And the thing that was troubling to me yesterday when we sat down with Matt Hasselbeck, he said, you know, we don't really know what our identity is as an offense. I mean, when times are tough and you rely on your identity plays, your staple throws in your offense, and he said, right now we don't know what they are. That's not a good thing as you head into the last game of the regular season.
On a 2nd and 13 now. Hasselbeck. Audible at the line. Fires. Incomplete. It bounced off of Deion Branch. Coverage from Rod Hood. There's no doubt they are looking in the direction of the former Philadelphia Eagle and Arizona Cardinal Rod Hood.
It does a nice job. Watch his right arm. He gets it in there right at the end. A better shoulder throw there to the opposite shoulder might get it done, but nice job recovering by Rod Hood. Well, they're going to go after him today. They're going to stay away from Cortland Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan's going to be locked down on T.J. Hushmanzada. He's going to follow him all over the field. You see him up the top of your screen. Here's the guy they want to go after down the bottom.
8th play of the drive on a 3rd and 13 for Seattle. From the gun, Hasselbeck set up the screen. Jones makes a cut. And Julius Jones is twirled down at the 35-yard line by Chris Hope. And the Seahawks offensively right now in no man's land. What do you do here?
Well, you see the screen. Both teams have been very good at mixing in the screens to slow down this rush a little bit. Tennessee does a good job. They roll a bunch of different linemen through there. They keep them fresh so they can get consistent pressure on the quarterback. Well, they're going to punt.
This would be about a 53, 54-yard field goal attempt. So they're not sending Olindo Mare out. It's John Ryan, former punter in the CFL with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Alvin Pierman, fair catch. And he brings it in short of the 15-yard line. 21-yard punt. Well, we're in the age of technology and communication. Somebody obviously called them or texted them and said, hey, you got to add the P.
Spell check.
Spell check.
Yep, have to have spell check when you put those signs together.
Earl Campbell with a P. And that's who's next on this list.
You can't misspell a Hall of Famer. Just can't do it.
4 yards away from passing Earl Campbell. Young to throw on a sideline toss to Justin Gage. And we understand coming in the game plan. Tennessee wants a win. They want to get Chris Johnson to 2,000. But the opportunities are there in the passing game down the field just because of the way Seattle is playing it.
Yeah, they're going to play a lot of heavy 8-man front. You're going to get one-on-one coverage on the outside. And it was interesting, as we said earlier, we sat down with Mike Heimerdinger. He said, that's really the way we want to, you should attack him, but we also want to make sure that Chris Johnson gets some carries.
Give is to Johnson. And Johnson brought down short of the 30-yard line by David Hawthorne and Colin Cole. It's a 4-yard gain. And yes, it's a new franchise record for rushing yards in a season. Chris Johnson topping Earl Campbell.
And this guy's not short on confidence. We talked to him last night. He said, I'm shooting for 234. I need 234 yards to become the all-time single-season leader. That's the one I want.
Well, he's got this one to himself now. Campbell back in 1980, 1,934 yards. Johnson now at 1935. It's a 2nd and 6 for Tennessee. Fake the handoff, set up the screen for Johnson. And Johnson is taking a lot of shots. Something we've talked about in regard to Chris Johnson is his ability to avoid the big hits. Will Herring with that stamp on Johnson just now, and he's getting hit all over his body.
Yeah, this is what this defense has to do. I mean, you have to do the little things that don't require a ton of talent. Flying around, hustle to the ball, play with great energy and passion, and make some hits like this to discourage Chris Johnson.
3rd and 5 now for the Titans. 3 receiver set. Young to throw it over the middle. First down to Nate Washington. Tennessee and Seattle tied at 7, 2 minutes to go in this first half. Ian Eagle, Rich Gannon, the rest of our CBS crew. Chris Johnson's got some blockers. And Johnson with a spin move out along the sideline right at midfield. Roos and Amano doing good work to help create some space for a 12-yard gain.
And get a look at Mike Heimerdinger's call sheet. He's got a lot of Chris Johnson's favorite runs are in. And he says he's got a ton of them. We got the toss, the counter, the misdirection stuff, everything he likes.
Shotgun formation. Young steps up. Young throws into traffic and complete to Bo Scaife. Just short of a first down. Hawthorne and Babineau able to split those defenders with the feed to his tight end.
And I got a real kick out of talking with Mike Heimerdinger last night. I think back to 6 weeks ago, we visited with him. He said, we talked about his daughter. He said, Dad, it's not that hard. Just hand it to Chris, toss it to Chris, and then throw it to him.
She's got a future in coaching. 2nd and 3. Young and slings it over to Justin Gage for a first down. Kelly Jennings with the coverage. It's a 13-yard gain. Brought down to the 30-yard line. Timeout used with 1:14 to go in this first half, and Chris Johnson is 53 yards away. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Quick handoff to Johnson. Johnson trying to bust it to the outside, and the Seahawks fully prepared with Patrick Kearney. It's a loss on the play for Johnson as the clock is ticking, under a minute to go.
You see Patrick Kearney right down there at the end of your screen. Does a nice job keeping contained, getting a hand on Chris Johnson.
2nd and 12 now. Young throws. As he was going down, he got rid of it. Darryl Tapp had the opportunity.
Well, when you study the film of this Seattle defense, I mean, they just need to get back to the basics, doing the little things right, like rushing the passer and making some plays in space. I mean, some of the fundamental things, because they can be a good defense, but it's about the alignments, the assignments, communication, tackling, doing the little things it takes to be a good defense.
Right now, they're looking at a 50-yard field goal attempt. Play clock is winding down. 46 seconds to go, first half. Shotgun formation. Young. And complete. Nate Washington, a first down inside the 15. That one covers 18 yards. Down to 32 seconds left now in this first half. And Young will spike it.
Well, as Vince Young has gotten more comfortable in the system each week, they've given him more of the offense and more volume, and just see him making big strides. Look at here, nice jobs sitting in the pocket, reading the throw downfield, understanding its zone, giving his receiver Nate Washington an opportunity to go make a play. But I've seen a lot of improvement from Vince Young the last 6 or 7 weeks in terms of his ability to sit in there and function as a quarterback in the pocket and make good decisions.
The drive started at the Tennessee 14-yard line. 2nd and 10 from the gun. Young, and throws it into the ground.
Well, that could be an intentional grounding. There it is.
It will be. There were no Titan receivers in the general vicinity. Question is, did that slip out of his hand as Young was looking in that direction?
Intentional grounding. Quarterback Tennessee. It's a 10-yard penalty and a loss of down. It also requires a 10-second runoff because the play happened under 1 minute. 3rd down.
Well, it looked like there's some indecision there, but either way, I mean, a costly mistake in that part of the field.
That's a double hit because you lose the time as well. Quite easily could have just thrown that ball, skied it out of bounds on that left side.
They should have done it earlier. It's a little bit late there. An indecision to get you every time at that position.
15 seconds remaining now in this second quarter. They have the 1 timeout remaining. Jeff Fisher sending his team back out there.
Tennessee has elected not to use a timeout. So there is a 10-second runoff, 15 seconds on the clock. The clock will start with my whistle.
So they want to keep that timeout and have a play called. Use the timeout to set up for the field goal.
Well, they need that timeout.
Young in some trouble. Young runs out of it and puts it over the head of Nate Washington. Incomplete with 8 seconds left.
Well, his ability to make a few first downs each week with his legs has really helped this offense. I'm surprised Vince Young wouldn't just keep running there. He probably wasn't going to score, but the extra 10 or 15 yards really would have helped his field goal kicker, Rob Baronis. Still had the timeout to use.
Absolutely. And he did have room in front of him. And he didn't give his receiver a chance to catch the football, so the mentality was to throw it away.
In between what to do. Do I run for it and try and pick up some yards, or do I try and make a miraculous throw in the back of the end zone?
42-yard field goal attempt for Rob Baronis. And remember, Seattle had timeouts.
Before the ball was snapped, delay of game offense.
Oh.
It's a 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down. There should be 8 seconds on the clock.
Well, this has not been a clinic on how to handle the end of a first half for Tennessee. We know what's really at stake here. Obviously, the Titans want to get a win. And Rich, you've talked about this with me at great length. Trying to build some momentum, even heading into your offseason, your program. Get a win. Feel good about yourselves. Get into minicamp, to the draft, and all those things that you work on during the offseason.
I think there's a lot of things to build on, really, for the Titans. And you really, as you said, Ian, you want to finish with a bang. You want to go out on top with a win, feeling good about yourself as you head into the offseason. No better way to do that than to win here today and to have your running back, Chris Johnson, go for a couple hundred yards.
So now Barones is looking at a 47-yard field goal attempt for Tennessee. Trying to give the Titans the lead here, late stages first half. And he misses it. Well off to the left. That did not go as designed for Tennessee. 3 seconds remaining in this second quarter.
That's a little bit of a surprise because Rob Barones is one of the best kickers in the league. I mean, he's made 5 of 6 from 50. He's got a long of 53. Certainly the distance wasn't a question, but just it's like a good snap and a hold, just maybe a little bit quick.
And he knew it right away. 3 seconds remaining. Seahawks come to the line, and they'll take a knee. That'll be the final play of this first half. 7-7, Tennessee and Seattle. Quest Field in Seattle, Washington. The Titans and the Seahawks. Tennessee trying to finish the season at 8-8. Seahawks would like to avoid a 4-game losing streak to end the year. A new year, a new decade. And the second half is underway. Ball will settle in, out of bounds. Smart play by Seattle special teams.
Hey, that's a
was
real
illegally kicked out of bounds. It will be placed on the 40-yard line.
Nick Reed was right there, thought about it, almost touched it, and let the ball bounce and roll out towards the sideline. Big mistake by Barones.
He did think about it, you know what I mean? And here's a big defensive end. Look, he wants to pick it up, but then he thinks twice about it. Nice job. That ball comes out to the 40-yard line. Good job. He sits in special teams meetings, and he's paying attention.
So Seattle takes over a 1st and 10 at the 40. First possession of this second half. Justin Forsett is in there. Shotgun formation, Hasselbeck. Set up the wide receiver screen. Deion Branch exploding into Tennessee territory. Cortland Finnegan giving chase. Good block from John Carlson, the tight end. 35 yards right out of the gate in the third quarter.
And we saw this earlier to T.J. Hushmanzada. Just a simple screen. The offensive line gets out there. John Carlson, the tight end, does a nice job. And you get a player like Deion Branch off in space.
Longest reception of the season for Branch. And a 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 25. Give is to Forsett. And he's knocked forward for a couple of extra yards. Jovan Hay there to make the play along with Gerald McGrath. Pushing and shoving afterwards, including Chris Spencer. As the officials are able to break it up.
I just got the sense by being around Seattle's facility on Friday that they were tired of hearing about the Tennessee Titans and Chris Johnson. They feel like they got a couple good backs of their own in Julius Jones and Justin Forsett. They don't want the story to be about Chris Johnson today. They want it to be about the Seattle Seahawks, and you can see the effort and finish up front.
Last time they lost 4 in a row to end the season was 1992. That year the Seahawks went 2-14. With a win, they'll actually finish the season 5-3 here at home. On a 2nd and 4. A lot of room for Forsett as he made the cutback, and then it closed in a hurry. It's a 5-yard gain. And he's got a first down for Seattle. Ball and Hood collaborate to bring him down.
Well, this Tennessee Titans defense, the problem that they've had all season long is they give up too many big plays. They've had 30 plays or more of gains of 30 yards or more. 31 of them to be exact. I mean, that's too many big plays, and when I see that, the first thing I think about is poor tackling.
1st and 10 from the 14 of Tennessee. The pitch goes to Forsett. Waits for his blockers and tries to dart upfield. Penalty marker is thrown. Rod Hood ranging over to make the play defensively. A gain of 1.
Holding, offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Sean Locklear starting at left tackle. Walter Jones, the 9-time Pro Bowler, supposed to be there, and seen a lot of those reactions from Jim Morrow over the course of the season.
Well, it gets back to the conversation about not being able to get any momentum going and build on some consistency. Obviously, It's been a problem throughout the course of the season. The penalties have really hurt this offensive football team.
Locklear was at right tackle. Jones went down early in the season with knee surgery. Hasselbeck throwing. Low throw. Owen Schmidt, the second-year fullback, the intended receiver.
You know, all the change up front with the offensive line and the protection scheme, in my opinion, has affected the quarterback. Just watch him right here. He's going to step up. Now just watch his footwork. You know, he's not following through. He's not quite sure. He's not trusting the protection. And at times, to me, it doesn't look like he is comfortable in the pocket. That, to me, is not good from a veteran player like this. You got to trust the protection in that group up front.
On a 2nd and 20, ground game for Set. And just not much there for him. Cortland Finnegan, first man to touch him, and then the Titans converge defensively. It's a 3-yard gain for Justin Forsett, who gained over 1,500 yards in his senior year at Cal. You know, more on Matt Hasselbeck. New system. He told us, look, I've had some changes before, but it was always the same language in the past. This was almost like feeling like a rookie all over again, having to learn the vernacular.
And it's not good if you're thinking about things out there under center rather than reacting to what you see.
3rd and 17, pump fake. Hasselbeck in some trouble. Soft toss to Forsett over the middle, and a short gainer of 4 yards. Seahawks will have to attempt a field goal now. Vincent Fuller in on that stop for Tennessee.
Really nice job there by Matt Hasselbeck right at the last second. He knows he's going to get sacked. He feels the pressure. The time clock goes off in his head. He does a nice job kicking that one out.
Olindo Mare on. He has made 19 field goals in a row. He missed a pair of them back in week 3, which turned out to be a tight loss to Chicago. Got some criticism back then. He's bounced back. 35-yard attempt for the lead. And he's got it. Penalty marker down. Six penalties against Tennessee, 2 called against Seattle.
Offside, defense number 33. 5-yard penalty will be declined. The field goal is good.
Olindo Mare's field goal has given Seattle a 10-7 advantage with 11:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. 7 plays, 43 yards, 35-yard field goal for Mare. This has been the lowest scoring season for Seattle in 16 years. They're averaging 17.8 points per game. That's 24th in the NFL. Mare kicks it off. Kenny Britt will take it out of the end zone for Tennessee. Stiff arm by Britt. And out of bounds as he crossed the 20. Deion Grant giving chase. 24-yard return. Seattle in front of Tennessee. We are in the 3rd quarter. 10-7 Seahawks. CJ2K.
I like that. That's kind of catchy, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard that thrown out there over the last
couple
3
days,
weeks or
have you?
so. No, even that's.
Are you saying I wasn't paying attention?
I think you missed the boat. You
No,
did not get the.
You can't miss the boat with Chris Johnson. He's had a phenomenal season.
55 yards away from 2,000. On a 1st and 10 for Tennessee. Give us to Johnson. And Johnson going down low to get some extra yardage. Deion Grant with a stop. It's a 5-yard gain. Give him an official gain of 4.
You worry about a back like Chris Johnson trying to hit the home run on every carry. You know, rather than just being patient and just playing the game like he normally does, you think about how that record is impacting his decision-making and his patience carrying the football here today.
On 2nd down for the Titans. Option, Johnson. Good job by Seattle defensively. They stuck with him. Leroy Hill and Marcus Trufant limit Johnson to a gain of 2. He is now less than 50 yards away from 2,000.
I think Vince could have helped him by continuing to come. He pitches it a little bit early. Not saying they would have had a big play here. And we talked earlier, Ian, about the fact that this defense had spent an entire period trying to stop the option. It's paying off.
3rd and 4. Fans getting vocal here at Quest Field.
They have not been good on 3rd down here today.
Young to throw it. And that's a first down toss to Nate Washington. Held up by his teammates. And fresh set of downs for Tennessee to work with. Pickup of 7.
You talk about running the football. I mean, it's a way of life in Tennessee, the importance of the running game. They've had 12,000-yard rushers since 1996. That's the most in football. Jeff Fisher believes in running the football and playing good run defense. That's how you win a lot of football games in Tennessee.
First down for the Titans, just short of the 35. Give is to Johnson. And Johnson hits the hole and gets hit in the process. David Hawthorne with the smack. It's a 3-yard gain. Now this offensive line, no Pro Bowls awarded this year. Mike Heimerdinger said, hey, Michael Roos is a top 3 left tackle in the entire league. Kevin Mawai has been a Pro Bowler for a long time, 7 over the course of his career. A lot of credit has to be given, and the pride that they've taken in blocking for Chris Johnson.
Yeah, you don't rush for 2,000 yards without a very good offensive line, and a good offensive line coach. They have a Hall of Famer in Mike Munchak.
Young. Over the middle, it's incomplete. Gage in a matchup with Trufant. And it sets up 3rd down and 6 for Tennessee.
Well, you get lots of opportunities. When you have a back like Chris Johnson, it can really help a quarterback because you know most of the time on the perimeter you're going to get one-on-one matchups. You just have to trust those receivers, guys like Justin Gage, Nate Washington, and Kenny Britt, that they can defeat man-to-man coverage.
83 yards rushing for Johnson. He is 45 away from 2,000. Shotgun formation. Young. It's caught for a first down by Bo Scaife. So this drive will continue after the 7-yard gain through the air. Line of scrimmage will be the 45-yard line for Tennessee.
Well, in the first half, they were just 2 of 8 on 3rd down. They've done a much better job of it here in the second half. Nice job there fitting that one in the zone coverage between the linebacker Hawthorne and the safety.
1st and 10 for the Titans, down to 8:18 to go in the 3rd. Handoff, Johnson. Up the middle, Johnson leaning into Seattle territory, and he picks up 7 yards. And Charles has looked like a keeper, JB, after the Larry Johnson situation blew up on the Chiefs. Johnson lowering the shoulder. He's got a first down across the 45-yard line. Deion Grant, Darryl Tapp over there defensively.
We talked about Chris Johnson not getting a lot of hits, not a lot of good shots. Well, watch this. He's had a bunch here today. This group right here, you see that hit by Deion Grant. They're laying the wood to Chris Johnson. They're going to make him gain and really earn every yard he gets against this defense.
6 yards away from 100 on the day. 34 from 2,000 yards on the season. Quick out for Justin Gage. The Titans mixing it up a bit more now as well, and that actually works to Johnson's advantage too, because you think, all right, yeah, feed the ball to Johnson every play. Seattle knows what's coming. Now if you can mix and match a little bit on offense, they might be able to get Johnson out in space and he can bust a long one.
Yeah, you have to do some things to back them off and keep this defense honest. And you do that with some play action on first down and some quarterback movement, getting out on the perimeter with Vince Young and taking some of the pressure off of these 8-man fronts.
2nd and 4 for Tennessee. Titans on the move, handoff to Johnson. And Johnson gallops his way out across the 35-yard line. We'll see where they spot the football. It is enough for a first down.
You know, it's amazing when you watch Chris Johnson. I mean, he just needs a few steps to get up to speed, and he changes gears so quickly, and he has that rare combination of speed and quickness. And I think that, really he has what they call world-class speed. I mean, he's got track speed.
He looks exhausted right now. Johnson. And Johnson cracks 100 yards for the 11th straight game. Another achievement for Chris Johnson. He's now got 103 on the day and 25 yards away from 2,000 for the season.
Yeah, you know, he had over 400 more rushing yards than the entire Seattle team coming into today's game. And, you know, he had the extra days to rest up and prepare. I think he's fresh, and they played early. They played the Thursday last week, so he's had the extra time. They've had a long weekend to recover. They came out early yesterday. I think he's ready to go.
2nd and 6. Young throws up top. The rainbow is incomplete. Nate Washington, the intended target, in a matchup with Kelly Jennings.
And this is where Vince Young can get better. This is where he can help Mike Heimerdinger, his offensive coordinator. If he gives you a shot play and it's not there, that doesn't mean you have to throw one up. If you don't trick him, if you don't have him beat, there are other options. You have to get to your 2nd and 3rd in the progression. That's something that Vince Young needs to improve upon.
Now facing a 3rd and 6. Under 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. 13th play of the drive. Deep drop. Young throwing. Incomplete. Bo Scaife matched up with Jordan Babineau, the safety. And it's 4th down. Tennessee will send out Baronis.
Really nice job there by Jordan Babineau covering Bo Scaife.
Missed a 47-yard attempt to end the first half. This is from 47 yards away in the other direction. Kern will hold it. Amato will snap it. For the tie, Baronis, 47-yarder. And he's got it. Chris Johnson, 103 yards on the ground. He is 25 away from 2,000. He just matched Marcus Allen for 2nd most consecutive 100-yard rushing games in NFL history with 11 in a row. Barry Sanders holds the all-time mark with 14 straight, set back in 1997.
Yeah, 3,100 yards in his first 30 games, just the 7th player to do that. He's gotten off to a great start here.
2 years in the league, 2 Pro Bowls for Chris Johnson, the only player here today named to the Pro Bowl. Rankin with long strides to the outside. And he got buttoned up there. Brought down to the 35. Now, you can't come to Seattle without enjoying the culture here. Hasselbeck over the middle. He gets Justin Griffith involved, the fullback, with Tulloch and McGrath bringing him down. It's an 8-yard gain for the Seahawks on 1st down. 2nd and 2 from the 42 for the Seahawks. The number 28 running team in the NFL at 95 yards per game. Hasselbeck dials up the long ball. Diving attempt by Dion Butler, the speedster from Penn State. Unable to haul it in. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Seahawks. Now, it's fun. You get down to this final week and you know teams are playing for their playoff lives. Jones has a 1st down. Little juke move for some extra yardage across the 45. Michael Griffin brings him down after the gain of 6.
Really nice job there by Dion Butler, getting a nice block on the perimeter with Cortland Finnegan, allowing the back to get out on the edge. If you're going to rush for a lot of yards, you need the receivers to be very active and very involved in the run game, getting blocks downfield.
81 rushing yards today for the Seahawks. Give is to Jones. And Julius Jones, former 1,000-yard rusher with the Dallas Cowboys back in 2006.
You see Jacob Ford, he's going to take himself right out of the play. He's at the top of the screen. He goes inside. It makes it so much easier for the left tackle and the tight end, John Carlson, to pass that off so that Carlson can get up on the 2nd level and get a hat on one of those linebackers.
7-yard pickup for Jones. He has 46 on the ground today. Comes in the leading rusher with 602 yards for the Seahawks. Jones again. Spins his way for another Seattle 1st down. Colin Allred making the stop. We know that this is not the same defense with Tennessee without the likes of Keith Bullock and David Thornton. Bullock, a free agent at the end of the year. He's been a long-time Titan, 10 years with the organization.
Yeah, and they're also without Tony Brown up front. But I mentioned to you on Friday, the thing that really jumped out at me about practice the Seattle practice was the tempo. This team really got after it on one of the most impressive practices, Friday practice I've seen all season.
Hasselbeck, tripped up. Derek Marks with the sack.
Well, that's been a problem all season for this group up front. The sacks have been down from a year ago, just 28. You're going to see Derek Marks. He's getting double teamed. He fights off the double team, does a nice job. Just 3 sacks in the month of December. That's very unusual for a team that makes its living on knocking down quarterbacks.
Derek Marks, his first NFL sack, rookie out of Auburn. Off the punt and thrown into the ground by Hasselbeck.
Boy, nice job there by the Titans snuffing that out. Little screen pass. They weren't fooled at all. Good job by that defensive line peeling off, sensing something was up and playing the screen. You just watch here. You're going to see the back come all the way across. Hasselbeck fakes the throw to his left. He's trying to get the back, Julius Jones, out. Nice job by Cortland Finnegan, those linebackers seeing screen.
So now a 3rd and 17 for Seattle. 3 receivers set. Shotgun formation for the Seahawks. Down to 1:29 to go in the 3rd. Hasselbeck almost intercepted by Chris Hope.
Well, I'll tell you what, both of these safeties have struggled this year. You see Chris Hope, Michael Griffin. I mean, these were Pro Bowl safeties a year ago, but you see right there, does a good job jumping on this thing, just can't make the play. There's been some inconsistent play in the secondary, not something you expect from a veteran like Chris Hope.
John Ryan on to punt. Alvin Pierman standing inside the 10. Flag goes down as Ryan got it off cleanly. There was some contact. Titans special teamers want to know why the flag came down from Hockley.
That's going to be a 5-yarder, though. That's not the end of the world.
Difference between running into the punter and roughing the punter. Hayes and Griffin.
Running into the kicker, defense number 95. It was a 5-yard penalty only. The punter was not allowed to come down and stand on the ground. 5-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
William Hayes called on that penalty for Tennessee. Not the end of the world, though, for Jeff Fisher because they were facing a 4th and long.
But they've been getting some pressure up the middle here, but you just see right there at the end, John Ryan doesn't have a chance to set his feet after that kick.
So they'll do it again. This time Ryan gets 5 more yards on the cushion. Pierman standing at the 8-yard line for Tennessee. Just over a minute to go on the 3rd. Low snap. Ryan skies this one end over end, and Pierman with a fair catch. Chris Johnson told us he didn't want to know the exact numbers until he was close. He didn't want it inside his head. Well, he's 25 yards away from 2,000. Johnson gets the call. And Johnson leaning forward for 5 yards. So cut that number now to 20 yards short of 2,000 on the season.
Keep in mind, this is a defense, as we mentioned earlier, Ian. It's only allowed the 100-yard rusher prior to today's game, to Frank Gore. And he's going to have to earn every yard against this group. And they're determined not to let Chris Johnson have a field day against them.
2nd and 5. And Johnson coughs it up. Seattle recovers. Deion Grant.
Turnovers tell the story for this football team. It's that simple. When they take care of the football, they win, and when they don't, they lose. They're a -3 this season in the turnover ratio. It's a big reason why they started 0-6. They had 18 of them. But right here, just doesn't do a good job right there taking care of the football in a pile. They do a nice job popping it out. He doesn't even feel this arm come in right there. Will Herring, of course, Deion Grant right there to scoop it up.
And Johnson had room in front of him. probably would have gotten to 2,000 on that carry. Some trickery. Wallace flagged down. He throws incomplete.
Holding. Offense number 35. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Holding called against Owen Schmidt with 18 seconds to go in the third.
Well, they have a number of players in the game plan today for Seneca Wallace. We saw the double pass earlier. We see the end around with the pass. Trying to take advantage of his athleticism, his skills, and his ability to throw the ball down the field.
So Chris Johnson, that has not been a problem for him fumbling the football this season. It's a lot of carries, 28 carries for Johnson. Knocked down. Kyle Vanden Bosch. Hasselbeck didn't have a chance.
Looked like they made an adjustment. They were trying to go back to that quick screen again. You see it up the top of your screen. We've seen it a number of times today. Right there, Kyle Vanden Bosch does a nice job getting his hands on that one.
Who are some of the best defensive ends, in your opinion, in handling that kind of play?
Well, we talked about one this morning, Richard Dent from Chicago. I mean, we literally would talk about not throwing screens or quick throws to the left because he was so disruptive at batting balls down.
2nd and 20. Stutter step, Forsett. Penalty marker down. Forsett won't go down.
Poor tackling. It's been a problem all season for this defense. Justin Forsett is slippery, but poor tackling across the board.
Titans are signaling that this one will be coming back.
Holding. Offense number 84.
And they're right.
10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Now Hushmanzada helping out downfield.
Regardless of the penalty, they're not the kind of plays you want to put on film if you're the Tennessee Titans. Justin Forsett has made a number of people miss today.
So back this one all the way up. They're going to place the football at the 42-yard line. Happy New Year, everybody. Start of the fourth quarter in Seattle. Ian Eagle, Rich Gannon, the rest of our CBS crew. Tennessee and Seattle are tied at 10. This is during the timeout. TJ Hushmanzada having a chat with the side judge over the penalty that was called against him. Barry Anderson was listening. Hasselbeck throws. It's complete to Carlson, and he's brought down just across the 35-yard line.
TJ Hushmanzada was doing such a good job politicking. We had to go back and look at it. Just watch his hands here at the top of the screen. Watch him grab Jersey right there. I mean, clearly he was grabbing with the right hand earlier. You see him grab with the left hand. Ed Hockley's right there to make that call. But when I saw him having the debate with the official during the commercial, I had the guys in the truck go back and take a second look.
And what was your final determinant factor on that?
I thought it was holding.
Really? Really?
Clearly.
You're going to go hold on that.
I'm going to agree with the officials on this one.
3rd and 13. Hasselbeck. It's complete to Deion Branch for a first down. Inside the 20. The rifle from Hasselbeck for 15 yards.
The problem here is you don't get any pressure on a guy like Matt Hasselbeck. If you let the veteran sit in there and go through his progressions, he's going to hurt you. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. You have to get some pressure on Matt Hasselbeck.
Seahawks all-time passing leader, Matt Hasselbeck. Not a give for Justin Forsett. Breaks a tackle. Forsett. He's got the angle. Just short of the goal line.
You know, we've seen a number of times today where Forsett has runs back to the backside, and the backside corner has been in position to make the play. Keep an eye on Rod Hood right there. He's got him right in his grasp, and he misses the tackle in the open field. We talked about these backs. They have a low center of gravity. He's only 5'8", but boy, you have to make that tackle in the open field.
Out of bounds at the 2. Seahawks looking to take the lead. Carlson goes in motion. On a handoff, and Forsett is dumped. No gain on the play. Stephen Tulloch. Good instincts. Just been a solid middle linebacker for this squad.
Well, this is where you need the big back. You miss a guy like Sean Alexander, you go back to the days when he was here, and all those touchdowns he scored in this part of the field.
Second and goal. Fade route. Deion Butler, incomplete. He was out of bounds, matched up with Rod Hood.
Boy, Rod Hood's got a target on his jersey. They've gone after him with the running game, and they've gone after him with the passing game. And right here, just not enough room on the boundary for Deion Butler. Pretty good throw, though, by Matt Hasselbeck, giving him a chance in the corner of the end zone.
He got 1 foot down, but the other foot, the left foot, was clearly out of bounds. It sets up third and goal. Shift to the shotgun. Pushmanzada in motion. For the lead, Hasselbeck, incomplete. Threw it in between 2 Tennessee defenders. And Seattle will come out for a field goal.
Very nice job by the Tennessee defense communicating here, passing some things off. You see Pushmanzada, he's just going to hook up right there. Nice job by the nickelback, Vince Fuller. He was not fooled at all. He's had his eyes in the backfield the entire time.
Olindo Mare, 20-yard attempt. Mare splits the uprights. Seattle with a 13-10 lead over Tennessee.
Grandma Seahawk.
Is that her? Is that
That's
the official title?
I think that's her official title.
You knew her back in your Kingdom days?
She's a great fan.
12:29 to go in this fourth quarter. Mare will kick it off to the middle. And just across the 30-yard line for Tennessee, met by Nick Reed on special teams. 24-yard return. 16 yards away from 2,000 for Chris Johnson.
Well, he hasn't had that big run today that we've become so accustomed to seeing throughout the course of the season. You really got to credit the Seattle defense, and they've done a nice job limiting the explosive plays and keeping this guy intact.
His longest run has been 11 yards. His last carry was a fumble, his third fumble of the season. On a pitch, Johnson out of bounds, short of a first down.
You know he's going to get his yards. I mean, that's a given. I mean, you can almost count on 100 yards at him, but you just don't want to give up the big runs, the explosive plays. That's where he really hurts you. See, they fake the dive, they flip the option out. They want to get him on the perimeter. He loves the tosses and the sweeps where he can kind of get out on the edge and use his speed and quickness.
Eight yards away from 2,000. Second and 2 for Tennessee. Johnson up the middle.
There it is.
Chris Johnson.
And that's the thing that jumps out at you. Right there, Deion Grant, he had the angle on him.
Penalty flag back at the 43.
Offense number 45.
He doesn't know it yet.
10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
A 62-yard run is taken off the board.
Not only that, but he exerted all that energy to do it. But we saw there at the end of that run, you're just going to watch them separate. There's the fullback right there, Mart Hall. Boy, I don't know. But watch him just separate. Wow, that's a good block.
Oh, boy.
Oh, right there.
Right at the end of it.
And absolutely no reason for that. He was already on the second level.
62 yards there would have obviously put him over 2,000. Would have put him 50 yards behind Eric Dickerson for the all-time record.
And that was the big run. And you saw him just separate from Deion Grant. And we've seen that a number of times this year. The safety had the angle on him. You don't appreciate his speed until you see it firsthand.
Handoff for Lendale White, and he is wrestled down as Johnson gets a breather out on the sideline. Colin Cole there with the stop. Now Fisher and Heimerdinger, they're worked up.
Well, you work so hard during the course of the week, scripting plays, putting runs together, and then to have one go and be called back by a penalty like that, and it just was absolutely no reason for it. The fullback, Ahmad Hawley, did a nice job, but just at the end, he grabbed the hold. No, absolutely no reason.
On a 3rd and 5. Nate Washington, second effort, and a first down. Darryl Tapp with the stamp on Washington. Officials telling Washington to calm down.
Nice job holding on to the ball. He takes a real lick here at the end of it. He's just going to come from the left side of your screen on a little crossing route. Ooh! Wow.
Well, Johnson got 6 yards credit on that carry from where the hold took place. 2 yards away from 2,000. Give is to Johnson. And Johnson brought down as he hit the 41-yard line for a gain of 1. Darryl Tapp with the stop. He is 1 yard away.
I'm just curious if you don't go back to the same run we saw a couple plays ago that went for the touchdown. And that's a run that he likes. They get the toss to him. He winds it back up inside. Don't be surprised if you don't see him go back to that at some point here in the 4th quarter.
Johnson. And he's got it. Chris Johnson is now a member of the 2,000-yard rushing club. He joins an elite group of running backs, just the 6th player all time to get there. What an accomplishment by the second-year sensation, Chris Johnson.
It's amazing when you think that he's now rushed for 2,000 yards. The first time, you see right here, just good patience. Not the biggest back, as we mentioned, 5'11", 200 pounds, but he does run with some power. Well, it's the first back to rush for 2,000 yards that for a team not bound for the postseason. Which is amazing when you think about it.
He has just tied O.J. Simpson with 2,003 yards here in the 2009 season. Colin Cole needed a little bit of help getting up. We talked to Johnson about the pressure. He said, I've tried not to think about it, but it's the last game, so you can't help but think about it now. Johnson, the 6th man all time to get to that plateau.
That is some elite company right there.
Johnson back in the huddle. Tennessee trails Seattle 13-10. Had a 62-yard touchdown called back. A hold against his fullback, Ahmad Hall. That would have put him within an earshot of Eric Dickerson. Johnson, the patience. He couldn't explode out of Deion Grant's grasp. And a gain of 1.
Deion Grant has made a number of nice tackles in the open field today. Right here, you'll see they're trying to get safeties down up around the line of scrimmage to get some help, but nice tackle here in the open field on Chris Johnson. It's not an easy back to bring down one-on-one.
And he's got 33 carries today, Rich, for 132 yards and a touchdown.
Well, the big thing with him, you need to eliminate the space with Chris Johnson.
Brett Kern, the punt, for set, fair catch. And he hauls it in at the 12-yard line. Tennessee Titans at 7-8. The Seattle Seahawks at 5-10. One of the storylines coming in, would Chris Johnson get to 2,000? That has been answered. Yes, he's over 2,000. Julius Jones with a 2-yard gain for Seattle. The other question, could he flirt with the all-time single-season record, Eric Dickerson? Right now, that answer is no. He's got 132 yards.
He needs overtime.
He does. He needs 102 yards to break Eric Dickerson's rushing record of 21:05. He's at 2,004 right now on the season. Hasselbeck. And Branson's going to get hit. He thought it was whistled dead. It is ruled incomplete. And Vickerson kept playing them. That's what you're taught to do. He didn't hear a whistle, although Branch gave up on the play.
That's about the 4th or 5th time now we've seen that quick screen, and the Tennessee Titans obviously have made an adjustment at halftime. They've done a much better job here in the second half defending that play. You'll see the quick fake, and he's going to kick it right out to his left. See that defensive liner doing a good job rallying. You see right here, Vandenbosch, he goes for the fake. The ball clearly touches the ground.
So it's 3rd and 7 now for Seattle. 7:44 to go in this 4th quarter. Titans looking for a stop here to get the football back, get Johnson some more carries, and also either tie this game or take the lead.
Wow, how about that call, huh?
On a 3rd down and 7, Julius Jones carries for nothing. Ball and Tulloch there defensively.
Well, they have not been good on 3rd down today. Just 3 of 11, and you think about last week, what happened on 3rd down. All 4 of Matt Hasselbeck's interceptions came on 3rd down. Very conservative play call by Greg Knapp.
How about when we talked to Hasselbeck, you asked him about the turnovers. He was able to go into very specific detail as to how it happened, why it happened, everything that you could wonder about the play. Couldn't handle it. Ryan able to punt it, but that was after he was forced out of the area, and a penalty marker is down.
Well, I'll tell you what, that wasn't a bad snap, I don't believe. I think John Ryan just took his eyes off it. Nice job, though, picking it up and getting it off. Obviously, you're going to have a lineman downfield.
So illegal man downfield will be the call. 6:59 to go in this 4th quarter. Jeff Robinson, the snapper.
There was no foul for running into the kicker, because that action is legal when the kicker is scrambling like that. There was a foul for an ineligible downfield by the kicking team number 52. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from where the kick went out of bounds. Tennessee's ball, 1st down.
The Titans in a 13-10 hole. Handoff for Johnson. Johnson keeps the legs moving. And David Hawthorne combines with Will Herring to bring him down. So 2,004 yards beginning on this drive. He picks up a couple there to put it at 2,006.
Well, Ryan, he's averaging just a little over 21 carries a game. He's already at 34. You throw in a handful of receptions as well. He's got to be pretty tired right about now.
Next on the list is Terrell Davis with 2008. Johnson can move to 4th all-time. Movement. Bo Scaife.
False start, offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Craig Terrell is in for Seattle for Colin Cole. They crowd the line on a 2nd and 13. Young going up top and caught inside the 5 by Nate Washington.
Oh, I don't know. You might take a look at that one. That was close. I thought he actually caught it with both feet in bounds before he actually hit out of bounds. Now they're giving it to him. One of the officials there waved incomplete.
And Tennessee rushing to the line of scrimmage. Jim Mora has already thrown the red flag.
A nice adjustment here by Nate Washington. The ball is underthrown. Watch him come back. I think he catches it. Whether or not he gets those knees down first. See if those knees come down. I think he's got it.
At Hockey Lee, Seattle's 6th challenge of the season. None of them have been overturned.
The receiver's right knee hits the ground in bounds before the rest of his body lands out of bounds. He maintains possession of the ball, and therefore the pass was completed at the sideline. Seattle is charged with their first timeout.
So a clean catch for Washington, and Tennessee is set up nicely inside the 5 with a chance to take the lead.
You see that knee comes down and has possession. I was just looking at the other angle. Nice job, though, by Nate Washington adjusting to an underthrown ball on the boundary and having the wherewithal to get that knee down.
1 knee equals 2 feet. That's all you have to get down, and that's what Washington did. 1st and goal. 3 tight ends in this formation. Johnson Chris Johnson has taken an absolute pounding here today in his quest for 2,000. He gets to the mark, but he is going to feel it on Monday morning.
With a lot of blue hats following Chris Johnson today. Look at all the movement up front. Penetration up front there. Never good in short yardage runs. They do a good job getting off the line of scrimmage right there. Really nice job by Corey Redding. He gets it started up front for the Seahawks.
2nd and goal from the 3. Fake the handoff. Young throws. Low throw. Hall catches, but short of the goal line. Will Herring there to touch him up. It'll be 3rd and goal for Tennessee.
This is an area of his game that he has to work on in the offseason, Vince Young. These little easy throws, boy, just see how this is behind the fullback? When you throw to tight ends and backs, you got to be exact with your location. You got to put it on their front shoulder and help them. You can't expect them to make those difficult catches.
Could be an area where Young does it himself. 3rd and goal. It's a pitch. Johnson slashing to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Tennessee.
But look at that. Jersey's ripped. That's going to be one sore back at the end of the day. Really nice job, though, by Chris Johnson. They toss him the ball. They do a pretty good job defensively stringing things out, but he just dives in for the touchdown. Nice job on the edge. Good job by the tight end. Watch this. Just burrows in for the score. Boy, that was close.
Well, that's what the fans are reacting to. They just showed it on the big screen here at Quest Field. And Jim Mora might be challenging again.
Well, Jim Mora's not going to save him now, is he?
Can't take him to the offseason.
Seattle is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a touchdown.
Boy, David Stewart's head's in the way. I couldn't see.
Take another look. Now that ball is right there at the goal line as his knee is touching down.
No, I don't think they're going to reverse that one.
Nope.
You look at his left shoulder.
The ruling on the field stands as called. It was a touchdown. Seattle is charged with their 2nd timeout.
So Seattle will have just 1 timeout remaining for the final 4:33. And of course the 2-minute warning. Rob Baronis on for the extra point to give the Titans a 17-13 advantage.
You think about a lot of those backs that have rushed for 2,000 yards, and a lot bigger and stronger than a guy like Chris Johnson. But I tell you what, none of those backs have the burst, the speed, and the acceleration that Chris Johnson has.
Johnson, we asked him, anybody call you that you were surprised? He said, hey, I've heard from Jim Brown. I've heard from Tony Dorsett. He said, I couldn't believe it. Dorsett blew my mind when he told me he'd been following me since my college days.
I think a lot of fans, a lot of players, a lot of Hall of Famers appreciate what Chris Johnson has done. I mean, really one of the better teams in football since week 8. I mean, 7-2 since then. They played really good. And you know, you really think a win like this would give them 8 or more wins for the 11th time in 15 full seasons under Jeff Fisher.
Baronis kicking off. Lewis Rankin will take a knee. Hasselbeck throwing. And Hushmanzada curls it upfield. Banged down at the 45 by Michael Griffin. And the fans chanting Hush after the 25-yard catch and run. On a 1st down for the Seahawks. Obamanu, the motion man. Forsett zigzags to the 50, 5-yard gain. Under 4 minutes to play. Seattle has 1 timeout remaining. They do have the 2-minute warning as well. They trail Tennessee 17-13.
You think about the year that Matt Hasselbeck had before the game on. You saw he received the Steve Largent Award, voted on by his teammates, given to a player who best exemplifies the spirit and the dedication and the integrity of the former Seahawks receiver and Hall of Famer. They really believe in this guy, Matt Hasselbeck. He is their leader.
Hasselbeck in trouble, able to get rid of it. But who was there? That's what the Titans want to know. Who was Hasselbeck throwing to? Stephen Tulloch with the heat on Hasselbeck.
Just watch the top of your screen. They're going to bring a corner blitz right here, and it fools Matt Hasselbeck. He's expecting the receiver to adjust. He doesn't. Nice job throwing it away, but clearly they were fooled by that one.
Well, the officials now talking about it. Was there a receiver in the area for Hasselbeck?
Well, I think there was. I think he's expecting the receiver to break it off. They bring the corner. He recognizes that the receiver doesn't adjust.
So it's Owen Schmidt.
There was no intentional grounding. It was a receiver in the area. We have an injury timeout.
Well, there you go.
I think you've got to give the quarterback in those situations the benefit of the doubt. He's anticipating the receiver breaking it off hot, and he doesn't do it. You're going to see Cortland Finnegan right at the top of your screen. He's going to come. Matt's expecting the receiver to adjust. He doesn't. He does the next best thing, throwing it away. The only decision, not taking the sack.
Justin Forsett was the injured Seahawk. Able to make it to the Seattle sideline with 3:07 to go in the fourth. And Tennessee with a 17-13 lead. 3rd and 5 now for the Seahawks. At midfield. Branch goes in motion. Hasselbeck looks and makes the connection. Obamanu. 7-yard gain, 4th-year wideout from Auburn.
Yeah, that's where they've been working all day on Rod Hood.
So a new set of downs for Seattle to work with. They are inside the Tennessee 45. First catch of the day for Obamanu. Shotgun, Hasselbeck. And Hasselbeck somehow gets out of it. Boy, it looked like a tidal wave. And Hasselbeck somehow was able to emerge.
Boy, this is good to see if you're a Seahawks fan. Nice job. They get full. The pressure comes at the middle. Nice job by Matt Hasselbeck hanging in there and making a play with his legs.
Kevin Vickerson just could not finish the sack. Give this to Jones. Spin move by Julius Jones, younger brother of Thomas Jones. And a first down for Seattle. That's a gain of 9, and we'll hit the 2-minute warning. Tennessee with a 17-13 lead over Seattle. We've got 2 minutes to play. Chris Johnson able to crack the 2,000-yard plateau. Vince Young getting the Titans down the field. They get the touchdown. Johnson second of the day, but now it's up to the defense to stop Matt Hasselbeck and the Seattle Seahawks with a 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 28. Forsett back in there for the Seahawks. Make the handoff. Hasselbeck able to get rid of it to Justin Griffith. And Griffith is brought down hard. Hasselbeck took a shot from Dave Ball, who read the play perfectly.
I think he was throwing it away, really. Well, what a great throw and a great catch to avoid the sack.
So they pick up a yard on the play. Make some substitutions here. Deon Butler comes on. And tight formation on a 2nd and 9. From the gun, Hasselbeck rifles and dropped. Carlson covered by Finnegan.
You have to continue to come back. Once that ball's in the air, John Carlson has to keep working back. You're going to see Cortland Finnegan at the top of your screen. He's going to jump this thing. You got to keep working back. That's the correction right there. If you're coaching the tight end, you got to make sure that he continues to come back at the top of his stem, because you know that guy right there, Cortland Finnegan's going to be driving on that throw.
Hasselbeck, 15 of 28, 175 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions today. After throwing 8 the last 2 weeks. Hasselbeck, timing play, incomplete. Looking for the rookie Deon Butler.
And they're actually playing 2-man coverage, double-man coverage up the top. So Cortland Finnegan is going to trail the receiver, knowing that he has help over the top. Very difficult to make that back shoulder throw against that coverage.
Now this is it for Seattle. Only 1 timeout remaining. They lost 2 timeouts on challenges.
Well, decision here, if you're Chuck Cecil, defensive coordinator, do you pressure or do you play coverage? It looks like coverage.
4th and 9 for the Seahawks. Hasselbeck steps up, throws on the move, and it's intercepted. It's over. Gerald McGrath with the pick. And the Tennessee Titans are going to finish the season at 500, 8-8, after starting the year 0-6.
And that's the reason the Seahawks are going to finish at 5-11 right there, Ryan. You give yourself no chance when you don't take care of the football. 32 turnovers this year by the offense. And Matt Hassel has thrown a bunch of interceptions the last couple weeks. Pressure gets it started here. You see Vickerson getting the rush up top. He's just desperate, looking for a throw. And right there, Gerald McGrath able to make the play.
First NFL interception for the rookie out of Southern Miss, Gerald McGrath. And the Seattle Seahawks will lose their 4th in a row to end the season for the first time since 1992.
Yeah, turnovers, that's the story. When you think about how this football team has played, when you turn the ball over, you don't give yourself a chance to win games. Just a frustrating year for Matt Hasselbeck. It wasn't a lack of effort today by the Seattle Seahawks. We saw them play hard on both sides of the ball. Really impressed with the way their defense competed.
Final 35 seconds here. Chris Johnson, 2,006 yards on the